Welcome to Off Grid Path, and I'm going to give you a tour around our static caravan, which has been converted into our kind of faux log cabin. I just wanted to do a walkthrough just so you can see everything that we've done in the cabin, just to give you a really good idea about how the renovation went. So as you can see here, this is actually our front door. It's not our real front door, I'll show you that in a second, but this is where you walk through. So let me turn the camera around. And as we walk through the door, we basically come straight into the kitchen. And the kitchen we wanted to make nice and big, just because we didn't have much space, but we knew that we really didn't want to have a pokey kitchen. So we wanted to make some nice meals. We wanted to have a nice big kitchen. And this work surface I'm actually really proud of, because we wanted a huge work surface, because this was going to double up as kind of working from home kind of desk. It could be a dining table, big prep area, basically anything, any kind of projects you want to do, we can do it on here. So the idea was to have a open plan kitchen and lounge. And if you see my other videos on my YouTube channel, you can see the full renovation process. So we can take you through everything that happened on the renovation. But it looked very different to how it looks here. So with the kitchen, it was quite simple really. A lot of it was free. We used a scaffold board here for all of the worktop surfaces. And this is kind of the burnt wood effect. So we just used a blowtorch to burn the wood. And the nice thing about using a blowtorch is you can basically sand it back to however you know, to its original form. So you can't ever burn it, you know, too much. It's you know, with that, if anyone's thinking about using the burnt wood effect, burn it as much as you can and then sand it back to exactly how you want it. The good thing about the burnt wood effect is that it kind of preserves the wood as well. It's certainly against water and things like that, so it's quite good for a kitchen worktop. The sink here we got for free, luckily, which is really nice. It's a nice, it's got composite material, but a nice big deep sink. And then down here for hot water, we got a water heater. So this is the plumbing. We've got a water heater here. This is 6 litres, so it holds 6 litres of water, and that will be heated. You've got a little thermostat here that you can turn up and down. It's switched off at the moment, but you can control how hot that water is going to get. So that is basically our hot water that comes straight into the sink. We've got a washing machine here, just standard washing machine. I say it's standard washing machine, actually. It's a half width washing machine, so it's still got the same size drum. It's just not as deep as a normal washing machine. You can see that there. This is an LPG gas cooker. Outside it's hooked up to LPG gas here. I'll show you that in a second once it stops raining. Again, very simple cooker, just 4 hobs, and that runs off LPG gas, which is surprisingly cheap. So with LPG gas, we pay, I mean, I think it's gone up now, so I can't remember. I think we used to pay about £70 for a 46 kg bottle, and now it's probably gone up to about £95 with energy prices rising and gas prices rising. But with that one 46 kg bottle, that will probably last us 18 months of cooking using the oven and the hob. So, you know, you're talking about, well, let's just say, for argument's sake, it's about £100 for about 18 months of gas for the hob and the cooker. So the hob and the cooker is great, very simple, and plenty of space in there for all of our cooking needs, that's for sure. We just wanted everything to kind of be open plan, so we've just got pots and pans up here above the fridge and freezer. Just screwed a couple of screws in there just to hang those up, and then we put these nice long shelves in because we wanted to kind of have everything easy, kind of this kind of pragmatic kitchen, I suppose, like just nice and practical, where we can just grab pots and pans and see what we've got. And with the cupboard space and things like that, we haven't finished with the doors yet. So there were going to be doors going on here, and we haven't actually finished that. So we're not quite sure whether to do proper doors or just maybe just curtains. I actually quite like it open, to be honest, but it would be nice if it was just finished, because it does look a bit unfinished. Here I've got just a little section. When I was designing the kitchen, we knew that we were going to have a clothes horse, and I really didn't know, they're always quite awkward to store, especially in a static caravan. So I just put this little section in just so we could slide that in and out. Weirdly enough, we don't actually use the clothes horse because of the log burner, which is our only source of heat, and because of these rafters in the roof, we basically hang our clothes there, and it dries so quickly because the cabin gets really warm when the log burner's on. So I haven't used the clothes horse in well over a year. Basically just hanging the clothes up on the rafters. So one of the nice things about the cabin when we did the renovation, like I said, you can see the full renovation videos on YouTube. The YouTube channel is called Off Grid Path. Is that this whole ceiling here was actually just hardboard, so it was flat. And when we pulled that hardboard down, we found these rafters, which is amazing, just because it adds a little bit of extra height in the lounge in the kitchen, which is great for me because I'm 6'5", so it's really nice just to have a little bit of extra ceiling height just to make it feel less claustrophobic. So this is the lounge. Very simple little lounge, you know, nothing too complicated here. We've got this free sofa, which was nice. Just want to show you the other side of the kitchen. Oh, I need to get my dog up. Hang on 2 seconds. I'm going to pick him up because he wants to get on the sofa and get nice and comfortable. There you go, mate. So on the, here he is. There we go. Nice. So on the other side of the kitchen worktop, I did put a storage unit in here, and this is really deep. And again, the idea was to put a door on here. So this goes all the way back. It's quite difficult to see, but really deep back in there. And again, on the bottom. Just because we had storage in mind, you know, when you've got living in a caravan, especially with 2 people, storage can be an issue. It's actually not an issue, and I'll show you what we did in the bedroom. And we've almost got too much storage. With you've got to kind of be quite clever about storage and really think about different places that you can hide things. So I thought about putting that, you know, really deep cupboard space in underneath the kitchen worktop, just as extra storage, not for anything in particular, just quite good to have a couple of deep cupboards if we need to store stuff that we're only going to use once every 6 months or in a blue moon. And on the other side here, got a couple of stools, like a breakfast bar, but also built in some shelves here, just for some books and things like that. At the moment, we've been away, so everything's kind of in storage mode, but usually we'd have some books and things like that in there. So it's just a nice little extra bit of storage space, just incorporated into that kitchen unit there. So with the lounge and with our only source of heating, this is a log burner, and this is completely refurbished. It was free. Actually need to do a bit of paint work on this because it's gone away a bit. It's been used for a couple of years now, so I just need to go over it with some stove paint. But this was a completely free log burner, and again on my YouTube channel I'll show the whole process of renovating that, refurbishing it, and then installing it as well. We did buy this twin wall flue, which goes up there, so we did have to buy that. But in terms of the burner, it's great. It works fantastically well. It's a 10.5 kilowatt burner, and you can see in here we've actually padded it out with this fireproof Vicas board. It's basically fireboard, and just to kind of reduce, because 10.5 kilowatts is actually a really you know, powerful output for the size of space that it's actually heating. So we didn't mind kind of reducing that output just by putting some fireboard in and just preserving the life of the burner as well. A couple of things that's really good. This stove fan is fantastic. Highly recommend one of those. Don't ask me how they work, but they're not battery operated, and they got like a solenoid on there, so when it heats up the fan will just kick in automatically. And it's not a high powered fan at all, but it does spread the heat. It's extremely efficient at spreading the heat and pushing that throughout the cabin. Obviously this log burner is on one side of the cabin, so this gets very hot, but in the bedroom, you know, it's a bit cooler in there. So this fan really helps sort of disperse that and push that heat through the corridor and into the bedroom. So when we did get that fan, it was a noticeable difference in there. So I'd highly recommend one of those if you don't have one. Another thing that we've got down here is just this little trivet. This is quite nice. Just we've usually got this flying, this kettle on top of here. That's a 3-litre kettle, and that just is on there all the time. That's just good, nice to have hot water boiling, ready to go for a cup of tea all the time. If that gets to boiling point, then we can just transfer that over to the trivet, and it just takes a little bit of that heat off, so it's not boiling all the time. So those two things are actually really handy to have. One, just to have boiling water all of the time, and two, just to be able to adjust the heat of that a little bit with the trivet. And then we've got a thermometer here, which are really valuable at just monitoring what's going on with the stove, making sure it's not too cold, creating creosote in the chimney, and not too hot for the stove as well. So you just kind of want to keep it in that white mark there. You can see kind of between 300 and 400 degrees, really ideally. A little bit of wood here. Usually got a lot more wood stacked up here. A lot of people comment on the wood that's usually stacked up, because it's generally stacked up really high and all the way along here. A lot of people say, oh, you know, you shouldn't have that so close to the fire. Well, actually, there's never been an issue. I understand people's kind of point of view in terms of safety on that, but you know, this whole cabin's like full of wood. You know, people don't comment on the wood clad because that's exactly the same kind of danger. So on that kind of note, what we did with the fire, we don't have a traditional hearth, but we poured concrete in here, and there's about 4 or 5 inches of concrete. The reason we didn't go for a hearth is, one, because it's expensive, and we couldn't find one. You know, we'd have to cut it down to really fit this corner. So in the end, we just built some shuttering here and then filled that in with concrete, and that works really well. This has been going on for a few hours now, and if I put my hand here, the concrete's actually cold to touch. That's not hot at all, and actually cold. So there's really no heat transfer going down into this anyway, and that's absolutely fine. So the other side of the burner is this, again, this fireproof Vicast board, which we've put inside the burner, and this stops heat transfer running through. We do have, this isn't just mounted to the wall, there's an air gap behind these boards, just to stop heat transfer running through. And again, if I touch these boards, they're warm but not hot at all. Like, they're really good at not transferring that heat through. So didn't really need to go up much higher than that. Some people would argue you need to go the full length, and that's the reason I got this twin wall flue. Again, you know, that's not too hot to touch. I can keep my hand on it there, and that's fine because it's twin wall and not outputting too much heat. I mean, it's still outputting heat, but it's not, you know, crazy amount of heat. So that was the kind of strategic reason to use twin wall all the way up, just because I wanted this to be clad. And again, if I touch this wood here, that's cold to touch, and absolutely fine for heat transfer. And that goes out the way, and I'll show you outside in a second. So that's the burner, which works really well, and that is our only source of heating in the whole cabin. And then we move on to got a little bit of internet here. So one thing to notice is that my channel's called Off-Grid Path. So it's the path to becoming off-grid. So our plan with the cabin was to eventually be off-grid. At the moment we're not. We're very much hooked up to the electric, with the idea of hopefully becoming off-grid in the future. For us at the moment, it's just a matter of finances. We can't afford to put solar in. It's just too expensive for us at the moment, but it's something that we're looking into in the future, to put solar and maybe a bit of wind as well, because where we are, we get a lot of wind and a lot of westerlies in the winter. So we hope to become off-grid in the future. Obviously everyone has different opinions on what off-grid means. I want to have an off-grid home in terms of not connected to power, water, heat, you know, all of those things, just so I can be in control with my own energy usage and resources. So we are very much connected to the internet. This is actually a new thing, just a week ago, so that's a bit of luxury. Before that, we're just using my phone to connect to the internet. Dog's just chilling in front of the fire. Just got a little bookshelf up here. just to square this corner off. And then we've got this kind of handy bit of storage just up the top here. This is just a feature. It's not something we actually put in. This is a feature of the cabin. And it's just quite handy just to have. I mean, at the moment it's just tents and things up there, but it's just quite a little handy storage area. Again, storage is always one of the big things. So that is the lounge and kitchen. If you've got any questions at all, just fire them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer, and maybe do another video if I haven't cleared anything up properly. So I've got a little bit of pantry shelves here as well, which are obviously empty at the moment because we've just been away. But that is the bin just down there. A bit of an axe there, a couple of skateboards, some arrows, and this is use this hell of a lot, which is why I put this hook in, just so it's close to the door. And that's just a log sack. Really great thing for just picking up a few logs. You just chuck them in there and then it's just an easy carry system. So that is the lounge and kitchen, as you can see. And I want to take you through to the bathroom now, because this is quite interesting. So as we come out of the lounge and kitchen, we come into the hallway, and then we've got this little door here which will take us through to the toilet and shower. So this is our toilet and shower room, which is very straightforward and simple. We did make a huge mistake by not waterproofing the OSB underneath these tiles. So at some point we're going to need to take all of these tiles down and completely redo this shower. This is an electric shower. I really wanted to get a gas shower in. It's a very long story, but yeah, alas, we couldn't get a gas shower. It was a bit too rushed, and we ended up with an electric shower. But maybe down the line when we redo that, I might get a gas shower just to be more off-grid, because showers do use a lot of energy. It's like a kettle essentially. This sink we salvaged from the static caravan before, so it was in here. We pulled it out and then re-put it in. This is just two cold taps here. We don't have a hot or a cold. Just kind of figured we got one in the kitchen. Don't really need hot water in here really. And then the toilet, which you might be wondering about, this is called a separate toilet, and this little flue chimney takes all of the smells out up into the roof and out the roof. And this toilet is fantastic. I can't recommend this enough. So this is a two-part toilet. You've got urine that goes down there and solid waste that goes in there. That's operated by a little pressure button, so when you sit on it, it opens up. And I'll show you what it does. That's the pressure button there. So when you sit on the toilet seat, that opens that up, and that's where solid waste goes. And if I lift this whole thing up, that opens up there, and it's basically a bucket. It's a very posh bucket essentially. So urine would have come out of here and gone down in there. That goes down through a tube, a pipe, and into the soakaway that we've got in the garden. And this is a very posh bucket. So you just pull the bucket out. There's usually a biodegradable bag in there, just around the bucket. Once that's full, or whenever you want to change it, you just pull that out, take it out to the compost, chuck it in the compost, and then you put another bag in, and that's it. It's as simple as that. If you're wondering about smells and things like that, this does not smell at all. There's a fan that takes all of the smells up through this pipe and out the roof. So it's fantastic. We didn't have power for a couple of months because this fan operates on a 5-volt system, and we didn't have power for a couple of months before using that. And even without the fan running, it still didn't smell at all. It was really fantastic. If you're looking to live off grid and you don't want to have a long drop sort of system outside, this toilet is fantastic. It's called a separate villa. That's the name of the toilet. Really fantastic. Can't recommend it enough. So that is essentially the bathroom. Very simple. Obviously we're limited for space, so it's quite cramped in here, but not too bad really. Could be worse, that's for sure. So as we come out of the bathroom, we're into the hallway, which is pretty straightforward. Got a couple of clothes racks, a bit of diesel, and just hung up some brooms and things like that. Some more screws for clothes. And then this is our electric junction box, where you've got everything there, from the toilet fan, kitchen socket, shower, lights. Like I said, we are connected to mains electricity, but hoping soon to be completely off-grid with solar panels. One of my favourite parts of this is the axe wall. My partner, she was very willing to have the axe wall. This was my my pride and joy. So I just wanted basically useful tools for woodworking and things like that. I really like axes and nice tools, so I just wanted an axe wall up here. So I've got a couple of my favourite tools here, like silky saw, a lot of Gram Force Brooks axes, the small splitting maul, the Scandinavian forest axe, the small forest axe, yeah, just a load of carving axes, a couple of draw knives. Yeah, so that is the axe wall, and that is the hallway as we're coming out of the kitchen, and that will take us into the bedroom. So as we come into the bedroom, we've actually got quite a nice bit of space in the bedroom. We did carpet the bedroom just to try and give it a bit of a warmer feel, and I'll try and give you the best view here. And that's the bed. We did actually build the bed just a little bit higher, just so we could store a few things underneath the bed. Don't know if you can see there, just got a couple of pelly cases. So again, just thinking about storage and how to best utilize the space in the cabin for storage. So this static used to be 2 bedrooms, and there was a wall basically here, and the door for that bedroom was there, and we basically knocked down all of these internal walls and built this bed in here. So double bed frame, double bed mattress on top, and it's actually quite nice really, looking out the window, which is lovely. And then built in a bit of wardrobe space. Again, we just got storage at the moment just because we've been away, but very basic kind of wardrobe, which is open, and I don't mind that, to be honest. From an aesthetic point of view, I don't know how many people spend time in my bedroom, but it's not many, so I don't really care. It's nice to just kind of see, well, at the moment you can imagine clothes on show there, just see what you've got. I like the kind of practicality of that. And then we did put this window seat in with the idea that, you know, you could sit here and read a book and it'll be really nice looking out at the willow trees. Never ever done that. It's not something we've ever done. It was a nice idea, but in reality, don't use it. But it is nice to have, I guess, a little worktop that we don't really use, but a little bit of storage under there as well, which so that would have just been dead space anyway. Now, one of the things I want to show you in terms of storage, because like I was saying before, storage is really important, especially when you're living in a smaller space, like a static caravan. You've got to think about storage. So like I said before, in the kitchen, you could see these rafters here. That runs the whole way down the cabin. Now we've put OSB here, but it's obviously rafters above. So what I decided to do was put a couple of little hatches in and some loft space up top. And I've got one there, and I've also got one here, kind of 2 separate storage areas for different things. And that's actually quite a big space. I mean, it's probably crammed full of stuff, so you're not going to be able to see it really. So sorry about that, but it's just quite a nice space to have, easy access, just for things that, you know what it's like, that you really don't use that much, like Christmas decorations and random bits and pieces that we can store out of the way, out of sight, but they're easy access if we need them. So I do want to show you outside, because I think it's stopped raining now, sun's shining. Outside is very much a work in progress. The garden is terrible, and you know, I really haven't got round to doing that yet. I'm just going to get the dog down here quickly before we go outside. Come on then, mate. There we go. And let's show you outside. So, I did forget to mention, these doors here are actually the back doors. They were over there on the other side of the burner, and we moved those, put a stub wall in there, and we moved those to here. We cut out a window and cut out the aluminium just to have this entranceway here, because we wanted the lounge just to be its own entity without coming in and out. We just wanted a nice cozy space in the lounge. So the actual front door is there, which we have never used before, and I do need to get round to building an actual front door. So as we come out of the cabin here, I'll show you what it looks like from the outside. So this is the cabin, and we have actually cladded the outside. I love the wood clad look. And what we do want to do is build a decking and a porch which comes up to here, runs all the way down there. Probably have a decking here, no porch, just to keep sunlight going in that main window. But it would be nice to just have a porch and a roof there, just to kind of expand the living space. Even though it will be outside, it will just be quite nice on rainy days to be able to have that. And let me take you around the back side of the cabin. So you can see here, that's the trailer. This thing's never going to be moved at all. It never was, so we've added, you know, a fair few tons of weight to it. Excuse the mess around the back. It's not in the best state of affairs. Obviously this is probably not to regulation, well, it definitely isn't, but it works for now. And then that is the front door that we've never used, so I do need to build some stairs here. I've got a lot of plans for this back section to landscape it, build some storage out the back for a wood store. Have already started building a wood store over here. So we've got this little nook section in the garden, and just built a little cheap, easy wood storage here, which is great. That works really well for the wood. You can get a fair amount there, but would also like to have wood store running there pretty much the whole length of that side. We don't get, it's quite protected on that side. Get a little bit of wind, which is great for keeping the wood dry, but not a lot of rain reaching that side. Mainly the other side where the rain gets smashed. So that's really it in terms of the cabin. We've got a nice little fire area here. Again, you know, a lot of the cabin needs to be, and the garden really needs to be sorted out. Just haven't got round to that yet. Got a bit of an axe throwing log section there, which is great. I use that for archery as well. And the cabin, yeah, this cladding's held up well. Looks really good. And that is basically the tour of the cabin. I'll just walk you through just so you remember what it looks like coming in. As we come through the doors here, we come into the kitchen and the lounge. So that's pretty much it. A bit longer than I was expecting, but thank you so much for watching. If you've got any questions at all about our cabin renovation, or any questions about the cabin, just hit me up in the comments below. Also, loads of other videos on our YouTube channel which will show you exactly how we did every stage of this renovation if you're interested. But for now, thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe. Cheers.